The humpback whale is not merely large. It is ancient, expressive, and deliberate. Stretching up to 16 meters in length and weighing more than 30 tons, the humpback whale is among the largest animals ever to exist. Yet unlike many giants, its presence is not defined by aggression or dominance. It is defined by sound, memory, and movement across impossible distances. To encounter a humpback whale is to witness scale combined with intention. The evolutionary history of whales begins on land. Millions of years ago, the ancestors of modern whales were small, hoofed mammals that lived near water. Over time, environmental pressures pushed them deeper into aquatic environments. Limbs became flippers. Nostrils migrated to the top of the head, forming blowholes. Bodies elongated, streamlined for life in water. The transition was not fast. It was gradual, patient, and absolute. Humpback whales belong to the group known as baleen whales. Unlike toothed whales, they do not hunt individual prey with teeth. Instead, they filter massive volumes of water using baleen plates made of keratin. This feeding strategy allowed them to grow to extraordinary sizes while surviving on some of the smallest organisms in the ocean. Size, in the ocean, is protection. A full-grown humpback has few natural predators. Only orcas pose a serious threat, and even then, attacks usually target calves. This relative safety allowed humpbacks to evolve complex behaviors rarely seen in animals of such scale. Their physical structure reflects both power and grace. Long pectoral fins, sometimes reaching a third of their body length, provide precise maneuverability. These fins are edged with bumps called tubercles, which improve hydrodynamic efficiency. This adaptation allows a massive animal to perform tight turns and acrobatic movements underwater. Humpback whales are famous for breaching, launching their entire bodies out of the water before crashing back down. This behavior consumes enormous energy. It is not accidental. Scientists believe breaching serves multiple purposes: communication, parasite removal, social signaling, and possibly play. Yes, play. Play behavior in animals indicates intelligence, surplus energy, and cognitive flexibility. In humpback whales, play suggests a mind that is not entirely consumed by survival. But the most extraordinary feature of the humpback whale is its song. Only male humpbacks sing, producing long, complex vocalizations that can last for hours. These songs are not random. They follow structured patterns, evolving slowly over time. Entire populations share the same song, which can change gradually across years, a phenomenon known as cultural transmission. This means humpback whales do not just communicate. They share culture. Songs travel vast distances underwater, carried by sound waves through the ocean. A whale may hear another's song from hundreds of kilometers away. In this way, the ocean becomes a network, and the whales, its storytellers. The purpose of the songs is still debated. Most evidence suggests a role in mating, but their complexity exceeds simple attraction. They may encode identity, fitness, or even memory. What is clear is that these songs require learning, practice, and awareness. Humpback whales remember. Memory plays a crucial role in their migration. Every year, humpbacks undertake some of the longest migrations of any mammal, traveling up to 8,000 kilometers between feeding grounds in cold polar waters and breeding grounds in warm tropical seas. They navigate without maps, without landmarks, and without error. How they do this remains partially unknown. Magnetic fields, solar position, ocean currents, and acoustic landmarks likely all contribute. What is undeniable is that humpbacks carry mental maps of the ocean, passed from generation to generation. This knowledge is survival. During feeding season, humpbacks display remarkable cooperation. One of their most famous techniques is bubble net feeding. A group of whales dives beneath a school of fish and releases spirals of bubbles, trapping prey in a tightening column. Then, in perfect coordination, they surge upward with mouths open. This behavior requires timing, role assignment, and trust. In evolutionary terms, this is sophisticated collaboration, not instinct alone. Socially, humpbacks are not rigidly hierarchical. They form loose associations that change over time. Bonds can be temporary or long-lasting, especially between mothers and calves. Calves depend on their mothers not only for milk, but for knowledge, migration routes, feeding strategies, and social cues. Milk from a humpback mother is extraordinarily rich, allowing calves to gain weight rapidly. Growth is essential. In the open ocean, size is safety. As human activity expanded into the oceans, humpback whales faced unprecedented threats. Commercial whaling nearly drove them to extinction. Their slow reproduction rates made recovery difficult. A species that invested heavily in intelligence and longevity was suddenly targeted by industrial efficiency. The silence that followed was profound. Yet conservation efforts have allowed many populations to recover. Today, humpback whales are a symbol of both vulnerability and resilience, proof that damage can be reversed, but only with intention. Still, the ocean they return to is not the same. Noise pollution, climate change, ship strikes, and entanglement pose ongoing risks. The very songs that define humpbacks are now competing with engines and sonar. The singer of the oceans must sing louder or adapt, and adaptation has always been its strength. If Part 1 revealed the humpback whale as a singer and traveler, Part 2 reveals it as a witness, a living record of the ocean's past and a sensor for its future. Among large animals, humpback whales show an unusual pattern. They intervene. There are documented cases of humpbacks actively disrupting orca attacks on other species, seals, sea lions, dolphins, even unrelated whales. These interventions do not provide obvious survival benefits. The humpbacks are not protecting their own calves. They are not defending territory. They are not feeding. They are responding. This behavior challenges the traditional assumption that large marine mammals operate purely on instinct. Intervening in a predator-prey interaction between other species carries risk and consumes energy. Yet humpbacks repeatedly do it. Some researchers interpret this as misdirected parental instinct. Others suggest a broader explanation: empathic response. Empathy in animals is controversial, but in humpback whales, the pattern is too consistent to dismiss. Their brains are highly folded, with expanded regions associated with social processing. They possess spindle neurons, rare cells linked to emotional cognition in humans and great apes. This does not mean humpbacks are moral beings. It means they are socially aware beyond immediate self-interest. Orcas, the apex predators of the ocean, understand this. In regions where humpbacks are common, orcas modify their hunting behavior. They attack faster. They isolate prey more aggressively. They avoid prolonged surface struggles. The presence of humpbacks changes the rules. In this sense, humpback whales are not rulers of the ocean. They are disruptors. Their very existence alters predator dynamics, prey survival rates, and energy flow through marine ecosystems. By consuming massive quantities of krill and small fish, then migrating thousands of kilometers, humpbacks transport nutrients across the planet. Their waste fertilizes surface waters, stimulating plankton growth. Plankton absorbs carbon. Carbon regulates climate. A single whale can influence atmospheric chemistry. This is not symbolism. It is systems biology. When industrial whaling removed millions of whales from the ocean, plankton productivity dropped. Fish stocks shifted. Carbon cycles weakened. The ocean became less efficient at regulating itself. Only recently have scientists begun to quantify what was lost. Whales were not passengers in the ecosystem. They were infrastructure. Humpback whales also act as acoustic historians. Their songs change over time, spreading laterally across populations. A new song pattern can emerge in one region and slowly propagate across ocean basins, replacing older versions. This is cultural evolution, not genetic, but learned. In a way, humpback whales maintain oral traditions. Each generation inherits not just migration routes, but soundscapes. When noise pollution disrupts this transmission, from shipping lanes, military sonar, seismic exploration, the impact is not just physical stress. It is cultural fragmentation. Imagine erasing language from a species that depends on sound to maintain identity. This is happening now. Modern oceans are louder than at any point in whale evolutionary history. Low-frequency noise travels far underwater, masking whale songs. Some humpbacks adjust by changing pitch or timing. Others fall silent. The long-term consequences are unknown. Adaptation has limits. Humpback whales reproduce slowly. Females give birth every 2 to 3 years under ideal conditions. Calves require long maternal investment. This life strategy favors learning, memory, and stability, not rapid population recovery. It is a design optimized for a predictable world. The current ocean is not predictable. Climate change alters krill distribution. Warming waters shift feeding grounds. Ice melt changes nutrient flow. Migration routes passed down for centuries may no longer lead to abundance. Whales arrive where food used to be, and find absence. Memory becomes a liability, yet humpbacks show behavioral flexibility. Some populations alter routes, others extend feeding seasons. They experiment. This is intelligence under pressure, not guaranteed success, but possibility. Human encounters with humpback whales are often described as spiritual. Whales approach boats. They spy hop, lifting their eyes above water. They slow down. They orient their bodies deliberately. These are not accidental collisions. No one knows what whales perceive when they look at humans. But they recognize novelty. They assess risk. And sometimes, they choose proximity over avoidance. This unsettles people, because the humpback whale does not behave like a machine or a monster. It behaves like a presence. Something aware, ancient, and patient. Something that existed long before human noise, and may outlast it. In evolutionary time, humans are newcomers. Humpback whales evolved their oceanic intelligence millions of years before humans wrote history. They survived ice ages, tectonic shifts, and mass extinctions. They adapted to changing seas without reshaping them. Humans did the opposite. The relationship between humans and humpback whales is therefore not one of mastery. It is one of interruption. Humans interrupted a long, coherent song with engines and explosions, and then wondered why the music changed. Still, the story is not finished. Where protections exist, humpback populations recover. Songs return, calves survive, migration routes stabilize. The ocean remembers, if given time. The humpback whale teaches a rare lesson: dominance is not the only path to persistence. Movement, memory, cooperation, and restraint can carry a species across the planet, quietly, repeatedly, and without conquest. In a world obsessed with speed and control, the humpback whale survives by listening. And in doing so, it reminds the planet what patience sounds like.